alaikum. Thanks God you didn't say ni hao.
Assalamu alaikum dedim deydi. Lekin sizler ni hao deb cevap vermedinler. Deb çak kıvatıdı. Demek vatan bağından keyin assalamu alaikum dese bütün milletimizin ni hao deb cevap vergenligi. Lekin meyanda bizning va alaikum assalam deb cevap vergenliginden memnun var.
Dear friends, my name is Olsi Jazexhi. I am from Albania, and my specialization is Islamic Reformation in Europe and the process of de-Islamization, de-Islamization and de-Ottomanization of Europe. My academic work deals with the process of expulsion of Muslims from Eastern Europe and the process of assimilation and forced conversion of Muslims into Christians in the Balkans. Nevertheless, I write time after time about the situation of Muslims in the Muslim world. I write about Palestine, about Syria, about Kosovo, and my research covers state propaganda, school and educational brainwashing, and I also cover issues that are related to geopolitical conflicts and manipulation of religion.
Benim ismim Olsi Jazexhi. Ben Albaniyalik bir muhbir. Benim tədqiqatlarım İslam inqilabı, dinsizləşdiriş, Osman tarixini tədqiq qılıman. Bir akademik buluş sütun bilen Müslümanların Avrupa'dan kovlanışı, ularning eksploatatsiya qilinishi, Müslümanların hazırki ahvali, Falastin, Suriye, Kosovo qatorliq joylardagi Müslümanların ahvali, ma'rif bilan qil yuyish, shundaqla rayonlar orasida yoki davlatlar orasidagi jug'rafiylik masalalar ustida tadqiq qilib borgan bir tadqiqotchi.
The issue of Turkestan and Uyghurs has attracted my attention since many months. I have seen and read many articles about you, but since maybe like 8 years ago, the Western medias used the same kind of propaganda to radicalize many Muslims in Europe. I wanted to investigate what is really going on with you Muslims of China. For this reason, a few weeks ago, I contacted the Chinese embassy in Tirana, the capital of Albania. Tirana is very close from where we are, is 900 kilometers, is closer than going to Gaziantep. So I contacted the Chinese embassy in Tirana and I told them, listen guys, I'm a historian and I am a journalist and I want to know what is happening with the Uyghur Muslims of China, because I suspect the Americans are lying about you and there is something bigger hidden behind what we hear in the media. Our Chinese friends in Tirana liked me, and a few days later they came back to me and they told me, Olsi, Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region is organizing a conference about titled Media Executives in the Road and Belt Countries, and they told me, are you interested to join? And I told them, yes, I am.
Ben şu Türkistanlık Uygurlar için anca cık bilmeydim deydim. Sizler için azırak neslerini okudum, köydüm. lekin sizlarni jiq tushunmaydim. Yani 7-8 yıl avval garip yani özünki yollar arqılı şu Müslümanlarni radikallashtirish elib berýatydy. Şonaşqa menmo tehi Amerikani sizlarni ko'zir qilib turib, mundaq xalqaraga yolg'on aytyotamdikin degan niyat bilan, shuning bilan shu Xitoydagi musulmonlarning ahvolini bilib beqish uchun bu Albaniyaniki, ya'ni Tirana shahridagi Xitoy elchixonasiga berib, men bir tarixchi, men bir jurnalist, ya'ni Amerikani yolg'on aytyapti deb qarayman. Şunun için ben aşağıdaki bir Müslümanların ahvalını körüp baksam degandan keyin meni yaxshi ko'radi. Meni yaxshi ko'radi, shundan bilan bir qancha haftadan keyin menga Xitoy elchixonasi bilan aloqa qilishib, mushu vatanlarga bir ziyorat mumkinligini borganligi, ya'ni mush bir yo'l bo'lgan va loyihasini tushuntirganligini aytib, meni taklif qildi.
So our Chinese friends send us to Urumqi, the capital of East Turkestan, or Xinjiang, how the Chinese call it. And we were a group of 20 journalists coming from Turkey, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, etc. And the Chinese authorities, they send us in a big hotel in Urumqi, where for the first 2 days they delivered us a number of lectures where the Chinese authorities were explaining to us the fight against terrorism and the economical development of the Xinjiang region.
Ambiyada shu o'zining gapini tarjima qilib beray, chunki bu gapida neytral holatda turyapti, ya'ni Xitoy do'sturim deb atabadi. Ya'ni Xitoy do'sturimiz bizda deydi, ya'ni Sharq Turkistonning markazi bo'lgan Urumchiga opadi. Biz o'xshamagan davlatlardan 20 jurnalist, Turkiyadan, Saudiya Arabistondan, Afg'onistondan, Bengaldan, Hindistondan, Arab Birlashma Xalifaligi qatorliq bir qancha davlatdan 20 dak muxbir Badu bizni nayt cho'ng güzel mehmonxonaga o'rlashtirdi va 2 kun bizga yig'in ochdi deydi. Ya'ni bu yig'inning asosiy mazmuni, ya'ni Uyg'urlarni terrorga qarshi turib, ya'ni ularni besib turish. İkincisi, mushu Sharq Turkistondagi iqtisodiy ahvoli va taraqqiyotini bizga tushuntirdi deydi.
The Chinese authorities send us to an exhibition of terrorism where they show to us how the Uyghurs were terrorists and were killing Chinese people. During our stay in Urumqi, Chinese communist leaders of the region, they presented us with a number of historical and political presentations where, in a way, they were showing to us the history of the region, China's fight against terrorism, the plans of the Chinese government to develop Xinjiang and to turn it into a major power hub from where China is planning to develop its Silk Road, which is in a way an imperialist Chinese project, which aims to turn Central Asia and Africa into a Chinese market. And among others, the Chinese historians that presented to us, they presented us even a historical narrative of Xinjiang. They told us that Xinjiang has historically been Chinese. It always belonged to the Buddhist Chinese culture. And the Uyghurs, the Kazakhs, the Kyrgyz, the Tatars, they are all immigrants who came from outside of China. They also told us that Islam is a foreign religion in Xinjiang, which was brought forcefully by Karahanids and other Turkic kingdoms, and the historical narrative that the Chinese government presented to us was that Islam was a violent religion which was imported from the primitive Arabs, and with its coming it stopped the progressive Chinese Buddhist civilization. And later on, they were telling to us that the violent Turks fought against the Uyghurs and forcefully turned them into Islam. When I heard this kind of presentations, I quarreled with a number of Chinese historians. Number one, I told them, sir, the version of the history you are presenting is wrong, because here we have the Altai Mountains, where the Turkic people come from. Number two, when we visited the museums of Urumqi, the mummies that the government of China was presenting, they were Indo-Europeans, people with beards like you, not people without beards like the Han Chinese. And moreover, by presenting the Uyghurs as invaders and other Turkish people, and by presenting Islam as a violent and a foreign religion that does not belong to China, you are inciting hatred, I told them. How do you expect to coexist with the Uyghurs and other Muslim peoples when in the white papers produced from your government, you show them as immigrants like those who come from Africa and Europe?
Xitay hükümeti yani Uygurlarga muşu terrorizmga karşı duruyatqanlığı, yani Uygurlarning Xitayning ötegenligi qatarlıq bir qancha hikoyalarni biz anglab o'tdi. Yani muşu Xitay muxbirlari vatanlarning tarihi ve siyasi tarixini tushundirdi. Hatta sizlarni bir terörünün yoktu, muşu atalmış Xinjiang'da terakki kıldırup, ondan keyin bularning ko'zori bo'lgan İpek yolu, yani bu İpek yolunu muş imperiya ya imperializm yolu bo'yicha O'rta Osiyoga va Afrikaga kengaymichilik qildiganligini men tushunib yetdim deydim. Lekin Xitoy tarixchilari muşu vataninglar, yani Turkestanning yoki atalmış Xinjiang'niki yani tarixdan buyon Xitoyning bir partisi ekanligi, bu yerga asli dinning Buddizm ekanligi, Uyg'ur va Qozoq millatlarining bu yerda bir ko'chmanlar ekanligi, Islom dinining bo'lsa yot bir din, ya'ni Qarxonalar va turklar tarafidan majburlangan bir terror din ekanligini, arablardan kelgan bir din ekanligini bizga anglatdi. Shunday qilib bu yerda Budda dinining yo'qolganligini bizga tushuntirdi. Men bularning bu yolg'onchiligini anglab, men bilan gap talashdim deydi. Turklar tarixda Altay tog'laridan kelgan. Yani bularning sizlarga o'xshamaydigan soqollari bor, soqollari bor deb men bilan gap talashdim. Sizlar mundaq deyishinglar tarix qilingan haqorat. Sizlar tarixga haqorat qilyapsizlar dedim deydi. Javob qarindoshlar.
However, our Chinese friends, of course, they were rejecting my objections, and their whole philosophy was that here in Xinjiang, we're fighting terrorism, and we have these Uyghurs who are terrorists. But we, as good communists that we are trying to build a better Xinjiang. However, throughout our trip in Xinjiang, I'm sorry for using the term Xinjiang, but I want to use the term that they were using. What we noted is that almost all the key leaders of Turkestan, they were Han Chinese. The Uyghurs were nowhere to see them. Especially in Urumqi, you thought if I am in Beijing here or I am in Turkestan. The historical narrative that the Chinese had built, because they sent us to visit the State Museum of Urumqi, State Museum of Aksu, and State Museum of Kashgar, was an imperial Chinese history. Now, China claims to be a communist state, a socialist state, which is led by the Communist Party of China. But as a professional historian that I am, I'm a historian and I examine history like the doctor examines your heart or your lung when you are sick. So, this is my profession. This is why I was trained by the Europeans. So, the historical narrative that they had constructed in their state museums was showing Xinjiang as being eternally Chinese and Buddhist. And I told to our Chinese friends, excuse me, sir, this kind of history that you are showing, it is not Marxist, because you claim to be Marxist and communist, but Marx said that proletarians have no nation. This is a Han imperialist narrative that you are imposing in this province, which is inhabited by a majority Muslim population. And this is not what I expect from a socialist and communist country. On our third day of stay in Turkestan, the Chinese authorities sent us to a vocational training center. Vocational training center, when we speak in English, means a center where you go and you get skills. You become a plumber, you become an electricist, you become a carpenter, and you go and you pay fee, and you tell to your dad, Dad, can you give me some money? I want to become a plumber. And the Chinese told us, guys, we're going to send you in a school. And then from Aksu, when we were, they took us in a bus. We drove like 1 hour in the middle of the Gobi Desert, and we see ourselves in the middle of Alcatraz. This was a concentration camp in the desert, but our Chinese friends, they thought that we were that idiot to believe in their fake propaganda. They told us, here's a school. And I said, wow, this is nice. And then they sent us inside this prison, concentration camp, and they present us around 20 boys and girls who were singing and dancing. And they told us, come and film them. All right, I said, I'm filming. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I told them, guys, when are you going to finish? No, they told us, we have 1 hour of singing and dancing. I told them, excuse me, I didn't come from Europe to see singing and dancing Uyghurs. I want to question these people. Who are they? Why they are here? What they have done? The Chinese felt very bad. They told me, no, we have to stay here. No, I told them, I'm going out. I go out from the hall, and there were a number of Uyghurs prisoners who were playing basketball there, and I went with my phone, this Samsung phone, and I told them, I want to interview these guys. They told me, no, it's impossible. But why? I told them, because they are having physical training. Okay, I told them, I want to see their rooms. Where do they sleep? No, sir, no, you cannot do that. No, I told them, I'm going to film them. And they took my camera, and I found one room, and I enter, and I film. And I see a prison cell, 10 beds. It was probably 20 square meters. They had 1 washroom and 2 toilets inside there, no privacy at all. And this was a prison cell. The Chinese went crazy with me. They were shouting, Arbania, Arbania, because I didn't follow their script. Continue.
Thank you so much. Yani Xitay meni rad qildi deydi. Yani o'z Uyg'urlarning terror ekanligida ching turdi. Yani Uyg'urlar terrorist, biz kommunistlar yaxshi. Biz yaxshi bir atalmish Xinjiang qurish uchun kurash qilyapmiz. deb yana olacaqdı deydi. Barlıq Xitaylar, yani o yerde başqurayotganlar hammasi Xitaylar ekan, Uyg'urlardan yo'q. Men o'zimni Beijing kelib qoldimmi yoki Turkestonga keldimmi deb o'zimni bilolmay qoldim. Aqsu va Qashqarlarga bordim. Men bir tarixchi bo'lib suhbatim bilan muzeylarda ko'rdim. Muzeylar ko'rgandan keyin men Xitoylarga dedim deydi. Sen degan bu ish, sen o'zingni marksizmdaysan yoki kommunist partiyadaysan. Bunda qilib kommunizmdim yo'q, marksizmdim yo'q, yana bunda diktatorlik, marksizmdim yo'q. Shuning bilan men bir qancha kun kutdim deydi, ya'ni kutgandan keyin andan bizni Aqso'ga oldi. Aqso'ga olgandan keyin Mishada bizni bir maktabga oldi. Maktabga olgandan keyin bu maktab mushu cho'lning o'ttirida ekan. Men buning jazo lageri ekanligini his qildim. Mencha maktab deganda,
one second. This is the prison cell where the Uyghurs of the so-called vocational training school are living, and you can see even the conditions of their torture.
Bu açık jazo lageridagi bir uy ekandaydi. Ya'ni mush uyning ahvolini ishani ko'rasizlar. Bu tarbiyalash markazi emas, bu bir turma deydi.
Stop it. Stop it.
Şunu oturuydu. Yani bunu yani mektepte bizi aldırmakçı oldu. Yani bizi dört görüp kaldı. Lakin men bir yanı mektep emas, jazo lageri ekanligini his qildim. Yani yerga kirgandan keyin 20 da qiz o'g'illar bilan maymunlardek bizga naqshuzul o'ynashga boshladi deydi. Yana qaranglar, bu xushal yashayapti deb nima qildi. Ondan keyin 10-20 minut o'tgandan keyin men so'radim, qachongacha davomlashdi bu desam, yana 1 soat bor. Degandan keyin men Yevropadan bu yerga naqshi bilan usulni ko'rgandim. Men bu yerdagilar kimlar, nima uchun bu lagerda, bularning gunohi nima? Men buni bilish uchun keldim deb ya nimadan chiqdim? Chiqqandan keyin men chiqib ketdim deydi. Chiqib ketsam, maydonda bir qancha Uyg'urlar vostoqbol o'ynayotibdi. Men ularni ziyorat qilay desam, yo'q, sen ular borma, ular u yerda tandarbiya qilyapti, ya'ni tandarbiyada shug'ullanadi dedim. Undaqda men ularning yotiqini ko'raman dedim. Shuning bilan kamerani oldim, yotoqqa kirdim. Har bir uy faqat 20 kvadrat metr atrofida ekan. Ya'ni bu deganda bu bir nima tarbiyalash markazi bo'lmasdan haqiqiy bir turma ekanligini his qildim deydi.
So these were the conditions where the so-called Uyghurs who are going to schools were living, and the Chinese authorities wanted us not to film this, but wanted us to show to the world that this is a school where the Uyghurs were so happy. They are coming there by their own desire, and that we are doing them a great favor by educating these people. Now, after we didn't accept to film the dancing and the singing of these poor kids, I told them after this, now I want to ask these people, who are you? What have you done? What is your crime? Because the propaganda that we get, look, everything is in Chinese here. They are taught about Chinese scholars. So the propaganda that we get is that these people are killers, are terrorists, are radical Islamists, and you, the good and the smart Chinese, you are educating these people. You are civilizing these suicide bombers.
Yani biz maktabga kirgandan keyin bizni maktabda film ammanlar turib oldi. yani mektepteki Uygurlarning layıklı hoşal yaşayotganligini biz ularning yordam qilyapmiz. Yani ular odam o'ldirgan terroristlar, radikallar, shunlashqa biz bularning radikalligini yo'qotib, bir yaxshi insonlarga aylantirmoqchi dedim. Yani yap men deb turib oldim deydi. Zodi bu yerliklar kimlar? Bular nima qildi? Men bularni bir bakmoqchida ularniki nimalarga bo'ysunmadim deydi.
Now, the Uyghurs, all their teachers were Han Chinese. Only Uyghurs are sent into these concentration camps because I asked our Chinese friends, is there any Chinese going into the schools? They told me no. But who is going here? Only Muslims. Uyghurs, Kyrgyz, Kazakh, Tatar. But for you to qualify for going in this concentration camp, you have to be a Muslim. Now, the other test that we did, look, I put my camera, he is one of their teachers, and first I said to the kids, Salam alaikum. Unlike you guys who said alaikum salam, they said, Ni hao. From them again, Salam alaikum.
Islam.
They said, Ni hao. And I had this Turkish friend who understood the Uyghur language, and he told them, Ben, Bayram, Istanbul, and he was talking to them Turkish. And they were saying, Ni hao, ni hao. And I asked them, are you guys Uyghurs? Yes. They were saying yes, but in Chinese. And they didn't speak a word in their language. And we understood, we said, wow, what is going on? And here is one of their teachers. Now I wanted to prove if these are real schools or they're prisons. And for the people who have seen this video, I asked them, who are these people? Why they have come here? Can they go back to their homes? And the answer was that they are radicals, extremists, and they're not allowed to go home. But the school where you are not allowed to go home, the school where you are forcefully taken from your home as a criminal, a radical, a terrorist, that is not a school, but is a prison or a concentration camp.
Yeah, thank you. Men büyük enbiyanın okutçuları bütünleyde Xitaylarken, lekin büyük kirgen ya büyük kamalganlar Uygurlarken, men büyük Xitay mılamı bağımı dep sordum. Ya büyük kirgenler fakat Müslümanlarla, yani Uygur Müslümanları, Kırgız Müslümanları, Kazak Müslümanları, yani fakat muşlarla kirdi dedim. Degenden ki ben Esselamu Aleyküm dedim. Esselamu Aleyküm desem bana ni hao dep cevap verdi. Türkçe nasılsınız dep yapsak bizge yani ni hao dep cevap verdi. Uygur mu desek hatta özüm tilidimi men Uygur dep cevap vermedi. Yani Xitayca cevap verdi deydi. Men bularni o'quvchisiga bu zodi maktabmi yoki turmi bu? Bular demiş bir keldi. Bular uyga ketalamdi desem bular radikal aşkınlar uyga ketolmaydi deb javob berdi. Men bu yerning bir maktab emas, bir jazo lageri ekanligini shu vaqtda yana bir qatim tunib yetdim deydi.
And then I started questioning some of these students of the so-called vocational schools. Because the Chinese told us these are schools. And I asked this girl, what is your name? I forgot her name. No need for her voice. So I asked her, what is your name? She told me her name, maybe Fatima something. And I told her why you are here. Because I've made a crime, she told me. And what was your crime? She said, I put a headscarf, like you Muslim sisters there. You should all go to this concentration camps. Not really, I'm joking. And I asked them, what was your crime? First, we put hijab. Second, I read Quran. Third, I told to my mother, come and pray with me to God. And for this you are a criminal? Yes, she said. I told her, I gave her salam alaikum, she told me, of course, ni hao. And I told her, do you believe in God? No, she told me. And she was looking at her Chinese teachers. Am I saying the right thing? Yes. But what do you believe? I told her. She said, I believe in science and in the Communist Party of China.
Ondan keyin men yana savol qo'ydim. Bu shu sen degandek qayta tarbiyalash markazimi desam, shundoq dedi. Undaq men bir savol so'rab qo'ydim. Bir qizdan savol so'radim dedi. Ismini nima deb so'radim, lekin men ismini unutib qoldim. U muhim emas, lekin Fatima deb turayli. Jinoyatni nima deb so'radim. Birisi yog'liq salganlikim, yana birisi Qur'on o'qiganlikim. Üçüncüsü, apamni namaz kılganlık için, namaz kıl deganligim için meni meshak so'li dedim. Allah ishlamsan desam, yo'q deydi u deydi. Nimaga ishlamsan? Andikin Allah ishlamsan deb so'radi, yo'q dedim. Andikin Xitoy o'qituvchisi qarab, men to'g'ri dedimmi deganda o'zining o'qituvchisiga qaradi deydi. Andan keyin sen nimaga ishlaysan desam, men Alloh ishonmayman, men texnikaga va Xitoy partiyasiga ishlayman deb javob berdi dedi.
I asked the other guy, why you are here and what is your crime? His crime was that in 2012 he had beaten 2 other guys, and for this he was sent to jail until 2014. And then when he was released from prison, one day he had prayed to God in his area in the field, but in public. And because he had prayed to God in public, immediately after prison, he was taken and sent to the concentration camp.
Yan bir baladan so'radim deydi. Sening jinoyating nima deb so'rasam, men 2012-yili ishga balni urib qo'yganligim uchun men 2 yil qamadim. Aniga biyaga chiqqandan keyin Allohga tavba qilib, mushu jamoat o'rinda namoz qilganligim uchun mushu lavlarga yana qamab qo'ydi dedi.
The interviews that we made in the concentration camps of Aksu and Kashgar showed to us that the people who had been sent in this, stop it, just make it big, only stop it. That the people who had been sent in these concentration camps were people who, one person, for example, had written on his Twitter account that for someone to be a real Muslim, he must pray 5 times per day. For this crime, he was taken by local communist authorities and sent to concentration camp. Another lady, whose name was Huzame Mahmoudi, you can find all these videos in my channel, she was sent to this concentration camp only because she wanted to eat halal food. She refused to take government subsidies because she thought this is not halal money. And for this reason, she was taken from her home, separated from her 2-year-old baby, and was for almost 2 years in the Kashgar concentration camp. And these people were not allowed to see their families. In this center, they were forced to 24 hours a day speak Chinese, to reject their religion of Islam, to forget and refuse their Uyghur or Kyrgyz or Kazakh language, and to believe in the science and in the Communist Party of China. So what we found out was that these were not only concentration camps. These were thought control camps. For the people who have read George Orwell's novel 1984, where the big brother controls not only your body, but even your soul, these camps are thought policing prisons. And like Jesus Christ said in the Bible, be afraid not of those people who kill your body, but those people who kill your soul. The Chinese are not only imprisoning the Uyghurs, are not only mass arresting them, but they are killing their soul. They are turning them into robots. I mean, I visited Israel and Palestine, brothers and sisters, but I have not seen such a horrible country. The Chinese authorities with whom I spoke, when I asked one of the communist secretaries who was always all the time with us, how many people you have like this in these concentration camps? He told me, I believe it should be around 500,000. The 1 million number is an exaggeration.
Thank you. Yani ben bu şu Kaşgar ve Aksu jarayonidagi şu jazo lagerlerine yani ziyorat qilish jarayonida yani asosligi shu insonlarniki nima uchun jinoyat qilganligini shuni aniqlashga pek tirishdim deydi. Birinchisi, jannatga kirish uchun 5 vaqt namoz qilmoqchi bo'lganlar. Yana birisi Xuzama Mahmudli ismli bir ayolniki halol yemeklik yeyish uchun uringanligi. Xitoydan tuan kapolat puli olmayman chunki Xitoyning puli deb olmaganligi uchun 2 yoshli qizidan ayirib qo'yib 2 yildan buyon Qashqar jazo lagerida ekanligi va onasini ko'rgil qo'ymaganligini bildim deydi. Yani bu yerda 24 soat sizlar Xitoy so'zlashinglar kerak ekan. Dininglarni tashlashinglar kerak ekan. Uyghur kimlikinglarni, Qozoq kimlikinglarni, Qirg'iz kimlikinglarni unutishinglar kerak ekan. Faqat fan texnikaga va Xitoy Kommunist partiyasiga ishonishinglar kerak ekan. Bu yer faqat jazo lageri bo'lmasdan ruhni, ideyani kontrol qiladigan bir jazo lageri ekan. Yani 1984-yili degan kitobnikidek eng qo'rqinchlisi bedenning yoki sizlarning o'lib ketishinglar bo'lmasdan balki ruhiyatinglarning yani qalbinglarning kontrol qilishi deb yozgan. Shunashqa bu yerda sizlarning jisminglarni emas, sizlarning ruhiyatinglarni, sizlarning qalbinglarni kontrol qilib, kallanglarni yuk tashlamoqchi bo'lib turibdi. Men dunyoda bundaq vahimlik, bundaq dahshatlik bir davlatni ko'rib boqmagan deydi.
İsrail.
Dedim mi? Dedim mi? Ben Qajirqo'ga o'xshayman. Ya'ni men deydi, İsrailga bordim deydi. İsrailga borib, İsrailda yerda Yahudilarning musulmonlarni o'tirib atganligini ko'rdim. Lekin u yerda odam o'tasimi, lekin ularning masjidini yoki bo'lmasa diniga qilmaydi deydi. Ya'ni sizlar ulardan battarroq holat ekansizlarda buni bir necha qatim bir qanchada ta'kidladi qarindishimiz. Demak, bizning vatandagi zulm, hatto Falastindagi zulmmi yuqori ekanligini yana bir qatim dunyoga aytib berdi qarindoshlar.
And the day when we went to the Aksu concentration camp, before we could see the concentration camps, I tried to interview one Uyghur who was already working with the Han Chinese, and I wanted to see what kind of people the Chinese wanted to create in Turkestan. So maybe like 3 hours before going to the Aksu concentration camp, we went to a private plantation near the Gobi Desert, where the Chinese government was growing fruits, and I interviewed this girl. Her name is Aisha Mahmouti. Her name, Aisha, like the wife of Prophet Muhammad, her surname Mahmouti, and I said, very good, let me interview one Uyghur lady and to see who these people are, because the Chinese, they didn't let us to contact people. Whenever we were trying to interview people, people were running away because they were afraid. But for Aisha, they allowed me. And I told to Aisha, Salam alaikum, and she told me, how? My God, again. And okay, I told to Aisha, how are you? What are you doing? And she told me, I'm working in this farm. And I told her, are you a Muslim? She told me, no, I'm not a Muslim. But what are you? I told her. She told me, I'm a communist. I believe in Marx. Very good, I told her. Have you read Marx? She said no, she didn't read Marx. Good. Then I told her, why you don't believe in God? The answer was that in the concentration camp, she believed in science. I told her, do you know what is the meaning of your name, Aisha? She said no. I told her Aisha is the wife of Prophet Muhammad. She pretended that she didn't know. And all the time, she was speaking in Chinese. So, the new Uyghur that the Chinese authorities are producing are people like Aisha Mahmoudi, who refuse to say Salam Alaikum, who refuse to be Muslim, who refuse their culture, who refuse to speak Uyghur. In few words, even though she looks Indo-European, she behaves, speaks, and thinks like a Chinese. So what the Chinese are doing through these concentration camps, they are producing a new Uyghur generation, which looks Uyghur, which is named Uyghur, but it is not Uyghur, it is Chinese.
Yana men mush Aksu jazalayigri bir işin 3 saat burun Xitay bizden şu çölge apmağında deydi. Yani Turkestan'daki Aksu şehrideki nemige bir işin 3 saat aldı da çölünün oturuda bir yerde yeşillaştırıp vatkanlıkını yani o yerde meyiciyle üstürü vatkanlıkını kösetdi deydi. Andan keyin men şu bir yerde bir qancha kişi bilen söhbet qilay desem şu bilen Ayşe Mahmud isimli bir kız bilen meni sözleşmeli koydu. Lekin nurgun Uygurlar korkup kaçmadı deydi. Andan keyin men Ayşe'den Assalamu alaikum dedim. Yanılan o nihav deb cevap verdi. Sen Müslüman mı deb sordum. Men Müslüman emas dedim. Sen undaq nima desem, men kommunizmchi, yani Xitoy Kommunist partiyasiga ishonadigan bir odam dedi. Marksizmni o'qib boqqanmi desem, yo'q, men o'qib boqmagan dedim. Nima uchun Allohga ishonmaysan desem, men kommunizmga ishonman dedim. Yani isming Ayşe ekan, ismining ma'nosini bilamsan deb so'rasam, yo'q, men bilmayman deb javob berdi. Yani o Peygamberimiz Muhammed sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'deki ayolning ismi deb nim qildim. Ondan keyin Xitoy hukumatining tutvatqini mushunga o'xshash, yani o'zining musulmonligini unutgan, o'zining uyg'urligini unutgan, o'zining ma'niyatini unutgan mushunda monqlarni yetishtirmoqchi bo'layotganligi, yani yeni Uygurlar meydan kesmi, lekin ular Uygurlardek, lekin kaldisi, mengisi Xitoy so'qadigan bir millatga aylantirmoqchi bo'layotganligiga shahid bo'ldim deydi.
When I visited the Uyghur, the Aksu concentration camp in that day, maybe it was, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 20th of August. As soon as I saw the horrific conditions of this concentration camp, when I went in my hotel, I immediately uploaded my videos on YouTube. My videos went viral. I was immediately contacted by hundreds of Uyghurs and journalists. Many people were writing to me, telling me, sir, are you in Aksu? Are you in Hotan? Are you in Kashgar? Are you in Urumqi? Can you please find my son, my brother, my daughter, my mother? All kinds of requests. a friend of mine who was working for Anadolu agency, he was contacted from his office in Ankara, and they told him, who is this guy that is uploading these videos? And he told them that he's my friend, he's an Albanian. And he told him, you are in a big danger for publishing these videos because they are very sensitive, and the Chinese will get crazy with you. From this moment onward, the Chinese understood that I was uploading videos from their concentration camp. From this moment onward, I was always followed by 2 or 3 Chinese spies. They were following me even when I was going in washroom. And I didn't have any more freedom to ask or to question people for what was going on. Nevertheless, the other journalists who were with us, they understood the game. And when we went to the Kashgar camp, most of the questions were made by them. And the Chinese authorities, they went mad. They told me, Olsi, what have you done to us? We had, before you, 8 other journalist delegations, but nobody made what you are doing. I told them, I'm sorry, I'm crazy and I do very difficult questions, but don't worry, I love you.
Yani Aksu Lagırı'ga yani 8. ayındaki 20. günleri etrafında buluş gerek. Ben bu kokunuş ahvalını görgenden keyin yerim keçide muş YouTube'da muş telefonumda kamerada algan narsani çay ne çıkarttım da gittim keçide bir keçide çıkarıp ettim yani torga çıkarıp ettim. Şunun bilen men bilen yüzlek Uygurlar, gizitçiler, nurgun kişiler Xotan'dın, sen Aksu'dumu, sen Xotan'dumu, sen Qashqar'dumu, sen Ürümçi'dumu, menin kızım nerediken, menin apam nerediken, menin qarindaşlarım nerediken dep nurgulgan Uygur nimelerni, uçurlarni verdi. Ondan keyin muşu Türkiye'den birisi telefon qilib, muşu Anadolu muxbiriga bu ishni qilayotgan zodi kim degandan keyin bu bizning bir do'stimiz debdi. Yana bir Albaniyalik degandan keyin şunun bilan sizlar xatar ichida, sizlar bunda qilmasanglar bo'ladi deb anda debdi. Degandan keyin ondan keyin 2-3 Xitoy İşpiyonlar edeydi, yani Xitay qaraqçıları, Suxanı basam, Suxanı vadi, erkekligimni boğuştu başladı edeydi. Yani men bilan mening sababli ular sarang bo'lib ketdi deydi. Yani 8 qatımlıq o'rlashtirgan, lekin hech kim mundaq san o'xshash qilib boqmagan, san qilganni qilmadi. Sen nima uchun mundaq qilsan desam, men boshqa o'xshamayman. Men bir talba, men bir yigit, men buni qilaman deb qarindoshlar.
Nevertheless, I told to our Chinese hosts that what they were doing with you guys was a crime against humanity. I told to the Chinese communist leaders who had organized our trip and whom I thanked for paying for the ticket and for the hotel, I told them, you have to stop what you are doing. These so-called vocational training centers are not schools, but are prisons. They are concentration camps where you are imprisoning the Uyghurs only because they are Uyghurs, because they believe to be Uyghurs, because they speak Uyghur, and because they believe in Islam. I told them, you are worse than the Talibans. I told them, you are atheist Talibans. You are more extreme than the Talibans.
Yani Xitoyga men shundaq dedim deydi. Sizlar bu yerda insoniyat uchun jinoyat ishlayapsizlar. Yani manga bəgən iltifatqa, yani bəgən manga mehmanxanlarını ulaştırıb, çıxımlarını götürüb xalqqa rəhmət eydimen. Lekin çoxum o yerdeki cinayeti çoxum toxtuluş gerek. Bu məktəb hacı tərbiyələş mərkəzi olmasın. Bula bir türmə cezalarga ekan. Sizlar bula Uyghur bo'lganligi uchun, musulmon bo'lganligi uchun bu yerga bularni qamavyapsizlar. Sizlar hatto Taliban'dan öte vahşi kesler, hatta sizler qilganni Talibanlarni qilmaydi dedim deydi.
I told to our Chinese hosts, what would have you done if China would have been invaded by Japan and the Japanese would have taken you into such concentration camps and would have forced you to renounce your religion, to speak Japanese, and to separate you from your families. You would have fought to the end to liberate yourselves. I told them what you are doing against the Uyghurs is an unimaginable crime. Their argument was that we are fighting terrorism, and because we have built these concentration camps, we didn't have any terrorist attack for the last 2 years. I told them, you are mass radicalizing the Uyghurs. What you are doing is an anti-Chinese policy. You should treat Uyghurs like your brothers. You should not humiliate the Uyghurs. You cannot turn the Uyghurs into Chinese. You are too late. This is the 21st century. The world is not going to tolerate you for this. And I told them, believe me, maximum in 10 years, a foreign power is going to arm these Uyghurs and they are going to burn your country.
Agar sizlarning bu qilvatqinlarni deydi, misalanga yopillar deyli, sizlarni jazolarga tashlab, jazolarga taqab, tashlab, dininglarni tashlatqizib, agar oilanglardan ayirsalar, sizlar qanday qilardinglar dedim. Sizlar bu yerda tasavvur qilib bo'lmaydigan bir jinoyatni ishlavyapsizlar desam, biz terrorizmni yo'qotishga tirishyapmiz. Yani aldığım 2 yıldan bu yan, yani bu atalmış Xinjiang'da hiç qanday bir terör hareketleri bu bakmadı. Şuna bu bizden kılvatqınımız yaxşı deb özünü aqlashga başladı deydi. Yani bu Uyg'urlar uchun qilayotgan irqiy qirg'inchiliklar yoki bo'lmasa bularni radikallaştırayotgan bu qilmishinglar sizlarga cho'qim bir kuni bedel to'latadi. Yani ben degene bir vositaga biray, sizlar Uyg'urlarni o'zlarining qarindish qatorida ko'rishinglar kerak. Yani sizlar bularni Xitoyga o'zgartiramiz yoki Xitoyga almashtiramiz deb qilyapsizlar. Sizlar kesh qaldinglar. Yani 21. asrdagi mushundaq bir kunda sizlar Uyg'urlarni bunday qilib bo'lolmaysizlar. Yani 10 yilda balkim tashqi kuchlar mush Uyg'urlarni qurollantirib o'zlariga bir ofat elib kelishi mumkin.
Apart from visiting the concentration camps, I tried to visit mosques when I was in Turkestan. The Chinese authorities, they didn't leave us time to visit Muslims and mosques. For people who have seen my videos, we were in guided tours. Nevertheless, what we found out when we were in Urumqi, 2 central mosques that we visited in the Urumqi Bazaar, they were closed. One mosque, the historical big mosque of the bazaar, was turned into a market. And when we were in Kashgar, I told to our Chinese hosts, we want to visit and to pray in a mosque. Because you have sent us in empty mosques, because they send us into mosques. I told them, we want to go and see how people pray in here. And finally, they allowed us to visit the central mosque of Kashgar for Juma. And what we found out when we went there, the people who were praying there were 60 or 50 years and above. No youngsters. The Chinese have declared war on Islam in Turkestan, Xinjiang. And if you are under 50, you are afraid to go to the mosque. You are afraid to read the Quran. You are afraid to talk with your friend and to tell him, we are Uyghurs. And this region is called Turkestan. Because if somebody is going to hear you, you are going to end up in a concentration camp.
Yeni ziyaret jarayonida Baytın degende Xitoy g'oljilar kaynimizga kirib oldi. Yani Türkistan'daki mescitlerini, Türkistan'daki insanlar bilen görüşey desek bizge vakit vermedi, fırsat vermedi. Şunun bilen Ürümçi'de iki mescitini ziyaret kılmakçı bulduk. Yani Ürümçi'deki, yani şu Çoğun Bazar'daki, Grand Bazar'daki mescitindeki takalgalıkı, yani bazarga aylanıp etkenligini gördük. Yani Tungan mescidinin takalgalıkını dedim. Yani Kaşgar'daki mescid, Kaşgar'a bağında biz namaz okuyumuz, namaz kılımız, bizim mescidki apağı, bu yerki Müslümanlar kandak namaz okuyduğun degenden keyin Kaşgar'daki Hekka mescidki apağı. Bu yerde qarasak hemmisi 60 yaştan yuqorilar, yani yaşlar yok. Hemen bunu görgenden keyin bularning İslamga urush açqanligini aşağıda his qildim deydi. Yani 40 yaştan tuvanlar ular Qur'on o'qisa, mescidga barsa, o'zini Uyg'ur desa, o'sha Turkestan diyarida ularning jazo lagerlariga qamildiganligini bilib yetdim deydi.
What I saw and reported from my latest visit in Turkestan, I know that have made you guys very heavy, but at the same time have turned me into an enemy of China. When I saw what I saw in Aksu and in Kashgar, I had two options. One, to lie and to say that everything is fine in Xinjiang, Turkestan. The second one was to tell the truth. Brothers and sisters, I know that China hates me at this moment, but I do not hate China. I'm not against China. But I cannot lie because I'm afraid of the blood and of the life of your brothers and sisters. I cannot lie for your people who are suffering in these concentration camps. I know that China is a world superpower.
Yani ben vatandaşlar Türkistan'da ziyaret buldum. Aksu ve Kaşgar'da gördüm. Yani bu jarayonda özgür bir sual koydum deydi. Xitoyning hiylarini işinib, yolg'on tarafda turaymi yoki haq tarafda turaymi degan o'zim savol qo'ydim. To'g'ri, men Xitoy hozir o'shkirdim, lekin men hozirmi Xitoyni o'shkirmayman. Lekin sizlar uchun, mishat yashayotgan mazlumlar uchun, qarindoshlarim uchun men yolg'on emas, haqiqatni tanladim.
I want to tell to the Chinese authorities who are watching this video, I have nothing against China. You guys have nothing against China. You are not terrorists. You are not criminals. You are not suicide bombers. You are human beings who believe in your God and in your ethnic identity. China should immediately close the concentration camps that they have made against you. What China is doing with you is similar to what Hitler did with the Jews during the Holocaust. China should stop the genocide against the Uyghur nation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bunu körüvatkan Xitay tajavuzlarga şunu dep qo'yaykin deb men aşırıvattım azırak. Xitaylar şunu dep qo'yay deydi. Men hazırmı Xitay qarşı durmayman. Uyg'urlar, yani sizlar terrorchi emas, sizlar radikalchi emas, sizlar oshqin emas, sizlar faqat va faqat bir Uyg'ur musulmonlari. Yani men Xitoyga yana bir deb qo'yayki, cho'qim sizlar jazo lagerini taqishinglar kerak. Sizlar Hitlerning Yahudlar qilayotgan bu ishni qilyapsizlar. Cho'qim o'sha jazo lagerini taqishinglar kerak deb Xitoyga tavsiya qildim arkadaşlar. Aga,